Hey everybody, we're here for a new episode of Five for Talking, playoff edition. We just finished round two of the playoffs. We're going into the semifinals, conference finals, whatever you want to call it. I'm here with Caps, the captain of the show. The Leafs just lost, and no one is surprised.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I said it before. I didn't think that. I always thought that Florida was a better team, but in the beginning of the season, I just didn't think that the Leafs got it to go this far. So it would have been a surprise, but you know, um, if they went further. But I'm not surprised in terms of what has happened. Florida's just a better team.
Oh, for sure. It was never doubted. Like we said at the beginning of the playoffs when we did our bracket. Like you even gave me credit for this. That I said if Florida's 100% healthy, they're going to win the cup again.
Yeah, I mean, you were pushing for Tampa, knowing full well that Florida might have been injured, but um, if Florida's healthy, then I don't think anyone's good enough to beat them.
Yeah.
So
I still don't think anybody here is good enough to beat them, but that's for another. Do you want to know? Like, we could talk about it quickly.
I still think Kachuk's injured. I'll
So
just
do
throw that
I.
out there.
So do I. I think that Dallas and Edmonton are very much in terms of the roster structure the same team as the Leafs. Carolina is a little bit more defensively built than any of those two teams, but Florida is the most well-rounded team of the four that remain. That's not to say that Edmonton and Dallas aren't better than the Leafs, but the structure of their roster, the style of team that they have, is this very similar to the Leafs.
Um, I just think defensively they're not that good. I think Toronto has a better D core. Um, but it seems as though Dallas's and Edmonton's motto is to outscore their opponent. And during the regular season, I would agree with you. Just during the playoffs, I just the Leafs can't outscore their opponent. They're
Yeah,
not
well,
that. They're not built that
that's
way.
not has nothing to do with the structure of the team. That's they're just playing better hockey. Like I said, either way, it's I
It'll be a high scoring series,
Dallas
Dallas and
versus
Edmonton.
Edmonton will be.
I think so.
It
I
might be
mean,
the
it all
best
depends on
series we've seen.
Ottinger. It
Yeah,
all depends on Ottinger, but I think it'll be a high scoring series.
it might be the best series of the playoffs so far. Uh, well, okay. I mean, let's hold on. Let's pause on that because we can talk about that. But I want to talk about the draft order for a second. Like, we don't have to dig too deep into this. I'm not expecting you to come out here with some insane
This is your bit, man.
knowledge of
I
information. Yes, it is. It's definitely a bit. The New York Islanders got the first overall pick, which is insane, but also good for them. They deserve it. Their team
They
is
won
in
a
the
lottery,
weirdest,
right?
huh? Yeah, for the
They won a
lottery.
lottery, right? Yeah.
Their team, the draft hasn't happened, the actual draft. So it's to be first overall from where they were. I think they were expected to get like the eighth or ninth pick. Is crazy, and they deserve it because their team is stuck in a place of no man's land where they don't have any assets to really pull anything in return, and they also aren't bad enough ever to draft high. But this could save them right now because like. I don't know. Their team is not bad. They're missing some pieces. They have an excellent goalie. Sorokin is crazy good, right? And Barzal is a good player. They just don't. Everyone's aging around them. They're essentially the same roster that Tavares was playing with.
So are they going after a forward or defenseman in
I
terms
mean, they're
of
probably going to
what?
go just for the best possible player. So I mean, you kind of have to. We got to see how the draft board falls. I mean, there's clear consensus basically for the top three, but in
Mhm.
hockey, if you've seen the last couple of years of picking, you don't really know. Like with the Shane Wright draft, he dropped to like what number five, I think, to Seattle, and Montreal took Slafkovsky. Um,
Is
but
that the
San Jose,
draft where he gave like a side eye to Montreal? It's like I'm going to show
Yeah,
you guys or something like that.
he
Or
he didn't he didn't want to try out for anybody. He thought he was good, and now I mean he had a decent season last year in Seattle, but Seattle's kind of messy, and they draft 8 this year, which is not good for them. San Jose got the second pick, which is excellent. Chicago got the third pick, which is excellent. Utah, Nashville, Philadelphia, Boston, Seattle, Buffalo, Anaheim. I mean, Buffalo drafting ninth is not going to help them at all, but we'll see whatever happens in Buffalo. Um, the Utah Mammoth. What do we think?
is it official?
It's official. You have not seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
No,
this is
I have
fun.
not seen
We're
it.
gonna do this live. Get your phone out and Google Utah Mammoth and take a look at the logo live for everybody here.
All right. While I'm doing that, talk to the audience.
Well, I'll talk to them about the Utah Mammoth. I think it's a better name than the other options. Whatever, like the Bandits, I think, and I don't remember them even. The Blizzard. The Mammoths is good. I think the logo's good. I don't like the coloration. I think that it's way too close to Seattle and Winnipeg. Like they should have tried to make it slightly different.
Getting Buffalo Saber vibes.
Yeah, it's kind of his Buffalo Sabres. There was a meme that was like, I can't wait for the face off of the two very distinct white prehistoric creatures that went extinct when Nashville with the giant protrusion teeth coming out of their face when Nashville faces Utah. I was like, yeah, that's pretty spot on.
Um, I got to see it on a jersey.
Well, they did release they took pictures with people with the jerseys, I think. I don't
Oh,
know
really?
100%. Yeah, they might be there. But it's not bad, right? Uh, the
It's not
jersey
bad.
colors are way too similar to Winnipeg.
It's not bad.
It's not bad, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I could live with it.
I was getting used to the Utah Hockey Club, but but it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. All right, well, that happened. And I mean, the IHF tournament's going right now. I don't know if you've been watching. Canada lost today to Finland in shootout as we're filming. It was a pretty entertaining game. Uh,
I haven't been keeping up. I do know that Crosby really wanted to be a part of it. So how's he doing?
he's doing well. McKinnon's doing really well. Marc-Andre Fleury's been playing really well.
Marc-Andre Fleury is
Yeah, they
playing. Wow.
they benched
I
Binnington
mean,
to play
guys, I mean, I
Fleury.
haven't been keeping up. So I
They
guess he
benched
wants to.
Binnington to play Fleury.
Wow.
But I mean, I think it's because it's his last go around, right? They want him to
Yeah.
win the gold medal if they can.
That'd be cool.
What are your thoughts? Like, I know we just found out about this, but generally that Bedard turned down the opportunity to be there.
I think that Bedard should, unless he's injured, I don't know what the deal is, but he should be utilizing every opportunity possible to get better and to be in a tournament playing with Crosby and McKinnon, um, where you can learn and hone your craft. It would just make you that much better. In my opinion, this last season he had a down year.
I agree.
So, he needs to step up. And I thought this would have been a great opportunity for him. I don't know what the deal is, but just that's my opinion. I mean,
That's fair.
I don't know.
I think he should have won as well. Crosby made some comments about how much a big experience it's going to be for Celebrini, and they're saying that Bedard is now saying he regrets the decision after seeing that interview not to have gone. I mean, like, yeah, you could have played with Crosby. Said the laws be the kid. You could have had a line Fantilli, Bedard, and Celebrini.
So hopefully he learns from this, and next time, you know, he doesn't say no and doesn't pass up on the opportunity. Hopefully he's in a position where he's deep into the playoffs that this opportunity doesn't come up for him. You know what I mean? Like, but it seems as though Chicago still has a lot to do in order to get there. And I think this would have been beneficial for. This would have benefited Bedard a lot if he would have played in this tournament.
Yeah, that's a fair way to look at it. Let's talk about the playoffs. So Dallas advances. I don't really think we I don't really think we thought Winnipeg was going to win at this point. Maybe on our pre the beginning of the year when we looked at it before the playoffs.
They got guys that are beat up. I mean, the fact of the matter is that um, they needed those guys. They needed those guys to play, and I just didn't think they were healthy enough. Morrissey, who's their top defender, only played about what 15 minutes in that last game before he got injured. Um, you know, uh, Hellebuck, I would tend to agree with the majority where he did not have a very good postseason, but his last two games were very, very good. Um, and unfortunately, it just didn't work out for him. So, um, back to the drawing board for Winnipeg. And shout out to Mark Scheifele for you know going through what he did and still playing in that last game.
That good for him. Yeah, I mean, all things considered. Um, Edmonton versus Vegas. I thought it would be at least more of a competitive series than it was. Out of
I
half.
didn't know if it was a matter of I don't know if it was a question of Edmonton getting better or just Vegas just not being able to keep up with them. I don't know. It's just um, Edmonton just it was Edmonton. The Edmonton Oilers that we saw in the last couple rounds from Game 3 in the first round up until now is a completely different team that I saw going into the playoffs. Um, this is a heck of a hockey team. Um, their forward depth. They got Evander Kane on the third line. That's the kind of depth they have on the forward line, and they got really nobody on D. And obviously uh, Skinner and Net, like they're missing their top D guy. So what they've been able to do is pretty astounding. Um, but going into this next round, and it's going to be very, very difficult doing what they're doing against
All
Dallas.
right, so give me your thoughts on Edmonton versus Dallas.
Like we said before, it's going to be a high scoring playoff series. I say Dallas in 7. I think this
Yeah,
goes a distance.
I agree with that. I don't even have any argument. I think that's Dallas and 7. On the other side, Carolina beat Washington, which I think easily beat Washington, which I think is what was shocking about it. Like a lot of people weren't as high on Washington as I was, but I saw like they have great two-way depth. They were solid throughout their whole lineup. They had a good defensive core. They had two really good goalies, and they just kind of imploded in this round.
The MVP of that team is Rob Moore, and I say that because the system that he's been able to implement, they just bought in, and uh, I've been very, very impressed. And I probably should have said this in the last video, but I was very, very impressed with what they've been able to do throughout that whole Rantanen thing, and giving up assets to get him, and then trading him away and not really getting much back except for a bunch of draft picks. So they are now in the third round with you know a lot less players. Uh, when was the Rantanen trade? I believe it was sometime in December.
The
If I remember
first one or the
correctly,
second one?
the first one.
Yeah.
So what they've been able to do is really you got to give them kudos, man. This is a really well-oiled machine, and that has a lot to do with Rob Moore. Um, I don't know how they'll fare against Florida, but uh, you know
I
that's just
mean,
my 2 cents.
I say, well, let's talk about the other series first. Florida beat the Leafs. I picked Florida to beat the Leafs in almost everything. And like I think I have a thing to talk about there. Like everyone's gonna say, "Well, bad fan. You're a bad fan because you picked Florida." Well, Florida was obviously the better team, and I knew that from the start. And
I also said Florida in 6.
I think on here I said the Leafs to win. I didn't obviously didn't bet money on the Leafs to win. Um,
Drake did.
yeah, Drake's an idiot. Drake has nothing better to do than to lose money on sports betting. Anyways, I picked Florida to win, and I think the people that are jumping ship now and all the memes coming out of someone taking off their Leaf jersey and having an Edmonton jersey underneath, that's a bad fan to me. I'm not switching teams because the Leafs are out of the playoffs. I just knew the Leafs. It's not shocking to me that the Leafs lost. I was not expecting the Leafs to do anything.
And this is, this is what this is the difference between this year and other years. Like I wasn't expecting. It would have been nice for them to beat Florida, but I wasn't expecting them to beat Florida. So it doesn't, there aren't any sour grapes or anything like that
Yeah,
this time around. I thought they, with the exception of Game 5 and Game 7, I thought they did very well. I'll put it that way. And maybe one game
no, you could. I
in the
could live with
first round.
that. I could live with that
Game 5. I didn't like Game 5 in the first round.
in the first round.
Um, but when these guys were able to buy into a Berube system, and I have some issues with Berube system. I'll just point that out there. But um, when they were able to buy in, they were a damn pretty good hockey team.
Hmm.
Um, and they gave Florida a run for their money. But the better team won.
I think
And
there's a lot of
yeah,
factors. I think that the overall team play was pretty weak. Um,
that damn third line,
the
Florida's third
third.
line, fuck.
It's. I mean, the Leafs' fourth line played relatively well for all the games, even when they were losing.
I agree, and that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, where your fourth line is kind of outshining your first and second
And
line
this is something I
sometimes.
want to say on that. The fourth line generally played pretty well, like I said.
Yeah,
However, I still think the worst player on the entire Leafs roster since it's happened has been Lawton. And the
has
fact
been
that we
what?
get Scott Lawton, and the fact that we've given up a first round pick for him is boggling. Even though that line was the best line, he was not the best player on that line. It was Lorentz played really well, and who's the other guy on the fourth line?
That's the guy who I would say is one of the worst. Kelly Croc. I did not
They're
like the
both
way.
pretty bad,
I did not like the
but
way
somehow the fourth line still did better than all the other lines. The third
they
line was
gave him
good too.
energy. They provided energy, and they provided some ozone time. Um, but it wasn't enough. It's not enough. They got to score, and that was their biggest issue. And it's been their biggest issue for years. Everybody wants to talk about the defense and the goalie, blah blah blah. Like they got to score. Like in
Yes,
order
they
to win,
have
you
to
got to
score.
score.
Listen, but your goalie has to make saves. Your goalie can't let in 4 goals in 5 shots. That's insane.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I I want to talk about the first three. I want to talk about the first 3 goals. You can't let people be open in front of your net. Like seriously, this is the last game of the series, and this is the kind of effort that you're going to be putting out there. It just can't happen. I agree. I'm not going to. I can't argue with Wolves' flaws, and he's learning. I don't know. Like I know a lot of people have issue with Wall and all that stuff. Um, I'm just going to say it out there. Even if you put Hasek in that game, it wouldn't have made a difference. It wouldn't have.
In
I'm
this
sorry,
game?
it just wouldn't have. If that game, it just wouldn't have made a difference because the fact is they had to score. You know what I mean? And when you're
Yeah, okay, but
when you're
it
tripling when
go
you're
finish.
tripling the ozone time, when you don't even have a single shot on net for the first 10 minutes of the game, knowing full well your backs are up against the wall, like that's just like it's just a character flaw. I mean, it's just unacceptable. You can't allow that to happen. I get it. I understand. I really do. But it's just like they should have put in a better effort than what they did.
100%. The team was not good, but in my thought process from watching the games, like I understand the defense let him down and like this and that, but if you score 0 goals, but the other team scores 0 goals, you still didn't lose the game. He didn't let in like crazy insane goals. They were very stoppable plays that he just didn't make the save. And
Are we talking?
I'm not blaming Wall.
Yeah, no, 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 no. I understand. I understand.
But
I thought
he
everything
and
after.
a lot of people were complaining this morning that that don't think that if Stellaris was in net it would have been any better. And
I don't
I
think
do
so.
think it would have been better. I still think
I
the Leafs
don't.
lose the games.
Yeah,
I just don't think they lose 6-1.
but that's the issue. It's the issue. Like even if you put Stoles in net, it wouldn't have been. Let's just you can cut the goals down to like 2.
They still
It
lose.
wouldn't have won.
I know, but that's on top of the fact, right? Like it's demoralizing for your the forwards need to score. But when you're down 6-1 and you have no faith that your goalie's going to make a save, you're not going to have the confidence to score any goals.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have had confidence to score the goals when they got
They can't
guys
score.
open in front of the net.
Yeah, they
This is
can't
exactly
score.
what it was. The first 3 goals of that game, like they were not stoppable goals.
No.
Those first 3 goals were not stoppable, and you're only scoring one.
We need the environment doesn't help either. Like watching today's IHF game, Canada versus Finland. The Finland fans were full because it's in Sweden, so the stadium was full of Finnish fans. I'm pretty sure it's in Sweden. Um, they're like full on soccer, like loud the whole game. They're all dressed up, they're waving flags, and they're singing songs the whole time, and it's constantly loud, like at a wrestling match or something. And we don't have that in Toronto. One goal gets let in, and the whole arena is just silent for 20 minutes. And I saw it. Listen, this is not to be a call out. I saw the people that I know that were there. It's all of the richest people I know. There wasn't like true Leaf fans in the place. It was just people who had enough money to buy tickets to go to the game. Like it wasn't like the truest, hardcorest of Leaf fans.
I mean, they're all at the top. um, yeah, I wasn't a fan of the people throwing the jerseys on the ice and all that crap. It was just so stupid. Like, um, it's like you spend all that money to buy a
Yeah,
jersey and then you
no.
just
And
throw
if
it on
you
the
want to
ice.
throw
Like,
Marner jerseys on the ice, feel free. But like everybody else, let's calm down.
I mean, I don't think throwing any jerseys on the ice is acceptable. If you're not a fan, put it on eBay after and make a buck
And
out of
I'll
it. Like,
buy it
geez,
off you.
and there'll be us real fans buying it off of you. But um, I mean, I'm ready to have that conversation about what do they do from here on in.
Okay, well, let's finish this conversation. Florida versus Carolina. I got Florida
Florida.
in 6. I think Carolina wins 2 games.
Um, I would say Florida in 6 only because Florida played more games. They're probably a little tired. So I just tired or not, they're gonna win.
All right. Going into 2026, 27, wait, 25, 26 season.
What year are we in?
I skipped the whole year. So going into 25, 26, you already know basically the layout of what how the Leafs team is going to be. What is your thoughts here? If you want me to say something first, I would be happy to. But
Well, I already posted something in terms of who I think should go right off the bat. Um, you can't run it back again. You can't. As much as I like Marner, um, and I mean I don't know him personally or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure he's an awesome dude. But in terms of what they need to accomplish and changing the culture, you can't re-sign him, especially over the fact that he wants more money. It's just not. You cannot do that. You need to utilize the money to sign other players. So right off the bat, I don't think they should bring Marner back. I am on the fence right now with Tavares. If he can take a really cheap deal, I would consider it, uh, knowing full well that he cannot be the second line center anymore. He needs to be more of a depth guy. Shanahan needs to go.
Hmm.
That was at the top of my list. He's been there throughout the whole thing, and to just my problem is that he was associated with those Detroit Red Wings teams that were monster teams, and he knows what it takes to win. And those teams are a huge difference from the team that I see on the ice right now. So I don't know what his thought process or where everything went wrong for him, but I don't think he should be there anymore. So um, right off the bat, Shanahan, Tavares, I'm on the fence with. Marner can't come back. I don't think Holmberg should be there anymore. Youngcroc, I don't think should be there anymore. I mean, if there was a way to get it done, I don't think Riley should come back. I think I think you would agree with that one. You're
I
probably
agree
the
with everything you're
spokesperson.
saying so far.
You're the spokesperson of the Riley thing, and I agree 100% because he had a bad game.
It's
He
not
had a
just
bad
that.
game.
It's if you're gonna go all out, like what you're saying, to make the change. These are what's necessary. Marner's an easy choice because you just don't re-sign him, so that frees you up $14 million to spend. You
Yeah,
take
I
if
don't know
you
how
can
long he's
get,
cut up for.
let's just say, but if you were gonna pay him, let's say it would be like 14. Okay, so there you save
Oh,
$14 million.
sorry, you're talking about Marner. Sorry.
Marner, if you let Riley go, Riley's at 7 million. I think it's a $7 million contract.
Yeah,
Um,
how long? I'm just trying to remember
more
how long he's
years,
there for. 4 more years. Yeah,
two
it's
more, two, one, two.
um.
Do
So
you
Yonkrock.
Tavares? I'm paying you 5 million, and that's all you're getting. So you need to figure that out with the
Yeah,
Tavares. I'm just continuing with yours.
yeah,
I
no,
agree with
definitely.
all the other pieces you say to cut. I'm finding somewhere to move Scott Lawton. I'm giving him to a team that's at the bottom that can suck up his salary, and I'll even give you a draft pick to take him. Freeing up that cap because I need to make room to bring in enough new people to change the culture of the team. I'm figuring out a trade right now to get Wall off my team. I'm going to let the rookie guy come up and I'm going to look for options to draft goalies. I'm going to draft as many goalies as I can this year and as many goalies as I can next year. And I'm going to run with them in my farm systems until they're good enough to play on my team. I'll let what's the goalie's name? Hilderby, the guy on the
Yeah.
AHL. He's my backup now. Wall is gone. I'm not paying you to come back. No, I'm using my money to pay Matthew Nyes, and
Yeah.
I'm waiting
Uh,
for McDavid to come off the books in Edmonton, and I'm taking a shot at McDavid.
if Edmonton wins a cup, I don't think he resigns anywhere. I think excuse me. If Edmonton wins a cup, I think he resigns with Edmonton. If they don't win a cup, I think he is more inclined to look at other options, and I think that's when Toronto would probably have a shot. But who knows? Um, yeah, Lawton, I'm not too sure about. Um, I think their defense is set without Riley. Like I think they just need to find someone to fill that sixth spot because everybody else was fine. Um, obviously Hakanpaa can go. I don't like he wasn't even there. Um, but yeah, like there's a few guys. You know what? Let me ask you, Domi. What do you think? The
I
the
mean,
lone
if
guy that scored.
I personally, I think that if you want to sign him again, you can. I think there's spots for him to fit in our roster. The problem is I'm not paying him nearly what he got paid this year. What is his contract now? Like 5 million? No, he
Three, I
needs
think. Three.
I'll pay you $2 million. Do you
Yeah,
want to
three.
win with us? You've made enough money in your career. Like, let's not try to bullshit the Leafs out of more money. Do you want to win? Then you need to take a cut. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. There's they need to reshape that bottom six, and they need to.
But I think what you're saying, if you combine with what you're saying with me adding in the Lorentz and Wall situation, they need to push it to a place where you've gotten rid of enough of what you have on your team now to replace with fresh people that come with a new culture. You get rid of Brendan Shanahan, you do that. If you only get rid of Marner, you didn't fix anything. Riley has to go. Has to. Cannot be on this team. Zero.
Yeah. I can't argue with that, man.
I would
He
be
played
more
well.
willing to.
He played well against Ottawa, but he did not play
It
well
doesn't
against
matter
Florida.
if you played well against Ottawa because we've seen him play on this team for over 10 years and he's not that guy. He wasn't that guy one time. So he can't. So we got to stop. It's over. I would rather they re-sign Marner than let Riley stay on this team.
I mean, if they can find a way to let Riley go,
I said it.
the dude's got
Package
to do it.
Riley and Wall together, or Riley and Lawton. Trade them to a team that's rebuilding and let them suck up the salary cap.
Yeah, you just got to get Riley to agree to it. You just got to get Riley to.
He doesn't have to agree to
Um,
anything. He doesn't have a no trade clause.
yes, he does.
Why would you give Morgan Riley a no trade clause?
All these guys that get paid big money now are getting a
Not
no
even
trade
getting
clause.
paid big money.
$7 million. I mean, come on. Um,
I'm
I
so
believe he's
upset
got a no
right
trade
now
clause.
that they did that.
I believe he's got a no trade clause. He
Just
has to
trade
have a
him
no
to
trade
Pittsburgh and he can be with Kyle Dubas again.
clause. But yeah, the Marner one is probably the big one. He's just a victim of circumstance. Like the fact is that his contract is up and they need to change. If it was Matthews' contract that was up, I would say the exact same thing. If it
Yeah,
was Nylander,
that I want everyone to know that. That's not what I was trying to say. If it's because of his contract.
oh,
I'm
yeah, no,
not
me
picking
too.
him as the worst of the three
Yeah,
guys, but
yeah,
because he's not under contract, you don't pay him.
yeah. I just yeah. If uh, they have to change something, they have to. But that's just my opinion. And um, yeah, man, big boys didn't come out to play. Sorry, none of them.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. I don't have anything else. You got anything else?
Um, so in your opinion, throughout this whole season, like, who is your MVP? I think I know your answer, but
William
now that
Nylander.
the season's over, who do you think is the MVP?
Either if it's going including the playoffs, Stellars. If it's just the regular season, William Nylander by far, not even close.
So combining the both,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Stolars?
I'd go Stellars.
Yeah, I'm going Tanev.
I mean,
Um,
Tanev's a good choice. I can't
no.
knock you there.
I'm not arguing your point. I think it's a
No,
great
no, no,
choice.
no. I think Tanev's a
Yeah.
good choice. I
Um,
might I wouldn't reconsider it just because it's I'd rather that we both have a different pick.
yeah. No, they're great picks.
I think Stellars had an amazing season.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like one of the best goalie seasons we've seen in like a decade.
Um, it'll be an interesting offseason. They don't have any picks, and they need to sign some good players. And it'll be interesting to see what they do, what they get
In the
done.
NHL, you have leverage compared to other sports. Utilize the fact that those underdog teams that are rebuilding that have salary cap exist. Get rid of high draft picks, low draft picks, like sixth or seventh round. Package them with your Lawrence. I mean, not Lawrence, Lawton. Get rid of him. Get free up salary cap. You just got to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is Cowan ready? Cowan might be ready. Did we trade Cowan? I don't know.
No, we traded Fraser Minton.
No, he
I really
mittens.
wish they wouldn't have traded him, but anyway, it is what it is. Now they need to figure it out. So, the cap goes up $7 million next year, and it'll be interesting to see how much cap space they got left. With if they decide to keep Wall and they re-sign Nyes, it'll be interesting to see how much
I think
cap space they
if
have
you
left.
move Wall, his cost covers Nyes. And if you include what Nyes gets paid already, and then Wall's pay, that's what you're going to pay Nyes, like $8 million probably.
Well,
So
if Marner goes out, then
if Marner goes out, that frees you up 13 mil, and then plus the 7 million of salary cap, plus if Tavares drops down, to 5, that's like another $6 million. And if you find a way to move Riley, that's $7.5 million. So you have a lot of cap to play with.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see
Anyways,
what
that's
happens.
it. Let's move on. Guys, let us know we're wrong. You love to do that. Tell us in the comments how wrong we were.
Or
Uh,
the fact that we don't watch hockey.
I've never watched a game like ever, not ever.
Never.
Anyways, thanks for watching and peace out.